See, when you go through somebody, when somebody so close to you dies, it's a very big wake-up call. It's a huge slap from this world. فانتي غصباً عنك, whether you like it or not, you're gonna have to face it. You face everything else that you're talking about. So God is like, I'm here now. You were disregarding me, yeah? You were disregarding me.
You were living life like it was all yours forever.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna show you something that's completely out of your control. Here you go. هتعملي ايه؟
قبل ما نبتدي حلقة النهاردة عايزة أفكركم بليز تعملوا سبسكرايب لليوتيوب شانل, ولو الحلقة عجبتكم تعملوا لايك, ولو عجبتكم قوي تشير, لأن دي الطريقة الوحيدة اللي أنا ممكن أكمل أكبر كارت كراب وأعمل الكونفرسيشنز دي. فبليز 30 ثانية بتفرق معانا قوي, وكلها 30 ثانية. يلا نبتدي.
أنا ما عنديش أي طريقة المفروض أقدم بيها حلقة النهاردة أو الموضوع اللي هنتكلم فيه, يعني مهما حاولت مخمخ مقدمة
We didn't even prepare.
هو ما فيش preparation. هو الموضوع تقيل, والموضوع لازم نتكلم فيه, عشان صراحة أنا لما يبقى في حاجة كده بحسها متدلدلة عليا وعملالي رعب وخوف ومأثرة فيا, لازم أتكلم فيها. يعني دي الطريقة أكتر طريقة ممكن أريليس. بصي حتى جسمي بقى بعمل كده I'm shaking.
same بس يعني
بس هنتكلم فيها.
It's for the best.
موضوعنا النهاردة بجد فوبيا عندي عامة, ان انا اخسر حد عزيز عليا. دي حاجة بتسهرني, دي حاجة بتتعبني, دي حاجة انا لسه مش عارفة اتحكم فيها ولا عارفة افكر فيها. يعني حتى الفكرة بتاعتها بتزعجني. بس في نفس الوقت بعد ما حصل لي الاكسبيرينس ده لاحظت حاجات كتيرة عن الدنيا والحياة وما بعد الحياة من باب طاقة غريبة قوي. فأنا وإنتي مرينا بجريف السنة دي. أنا يعني ما بقاليش أصلا أسبوعين 3 في الموضوع.
I'm sorry for your loss.
And I'm sorry for your loss too. بس اللي لذيذ في الكلام اللي هنتكلم فيه النهارده, كلنا خايفين يا جماعه ان حد عزيز علينا يتوفى. فاحنا هنتكلم مع بعض كده بلذاذه, وانا ممكن اصلا هجيب بطانيه لان انا درجه حراره جسمي بتقع, فاهمه, ببتدي اتلج. بس هنتكلم وهنسايس وهنلاحظ ان احنا مع بعض, وان احنا ممكن نعدي منها وهنعدي منها, لان دي سنه الحياه وكلنا هنمر بالظروف دي, ومحدش بيتوفى نقص عمر. ولازم نتكلم في الحاجات دي, بالذات ان احنا في مجتمع علينا شروط قد كده ازاي نتعامل مع الموت وان حد يتوفلنا. لازم في قوانين اللي هو الواحد اصلا في الفيس ده مش محتاج حد يقول له يعمل ايه. فنخش في الحلقة او في الكلام. مش عايز اقول لذيذ, بس الفول سيركل ان احنا بنتكلم ان احنا الاكسبيرينسز بتاعتنا, the people we lost are very different. Yours was sudden. It was a love. He's young. In that aspect, it's different. Anna, my grandmother, was older. We kind of saw it coming. تعبت شوية. She's my grandmother. فممكن نقول إن هما اللي هو زي ما انتوا is it better إن هي تحصل all of a sudden ولا إنك to see it coming. لا, it's all shit.
A loss is a loss.
A loss is a loss.
There's nothing you can do about it. It's a loss. It's a sudden loss, whatever, even if it was expected. The idea that you're not able to see this person in this world again.
In this world.
Is, that's why I said this world. It's ground shaking.
It really
That's
is.
the word I can use. It's ground shaking. It shakes you to your core. It shakes you it shakes your entire existence.
Yeah. Do you want to give a little back end info on your experience with grief this year?
Where should I look? At you? At the cameras?
لا, بصيلي أنا. بصيلي أنا, إحنا هنحتاج بعض في الكلام النهاردة. إحنا نقعد زي كده.
Honestly, it was very, very, like I said, ground shaking. For me at least it was very unexpected. I didn't know it was gonna happen. ولا أنا كنت عارفة ولا أي حد حواليا كان عارف. And it was
Who did you lose? How did you lose him?
my boyfriend, ex-boyfriend at the time.
Your love.
My love. I
love.
can just use that term. He was my love, and he was someone that was very dear to me. I cherished. But most importantly, he was not just a person I cherished. He was a person I had a very strong bond with. A strong bond in terms of, I've never had with anybody else. So losing him literally felt like there was a part of me that was lost. And until today. And I'm sure you can experience, I'm sure you have that too. But so when it happened, it was extremely ground shaking. I was in shock. My body went in full. I've never experienced such a panic attack to this extent. طبعا يعني we all have panic attacks, we all have anxiety, whatever. بس دي كانت it was ground shaking للدرجة إن أنا my hands and my legs were numb when I found out. It was very, and it was a phone call from his family member, and it was just hearing the cries.
Time stops, you exit your body أصلا, and everything in your body happens مرة واحدة.
Exactly.
And your brain is like, if I don't get a hold of this, I'm gone. I'm gone.
بالظبط.
أنا go crazy.
But believe it or not, the first thing, because when I found out I was with my friend in the car, and he had lost his best friend too. So the first, I don't know how, I don't know why, but the first thing I thought of is, what do I do now?
Yeah.
What do I do? Okay, this happened, Amelie. He was like, he was like, what do you mean Amelie? I was like, la. How do you deal with this? Because this is something new, this is an experience, and you're gonna go through it. What do I do? هو أصلا سكت أصلا, he didn't know what to tell me. أصلا he was driving and he was like مش عارف أقول لك يعني. He didn't know whether he should calm me down, whether he was like, I'm so sorry, but it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard, it's gonna be difficult, you're gonna go through it, but it's completely out of your control. These are the couple of words that I heard the first couple of minutes. But I didn't cry at first, I was just hyperventilating. طبعا I go home. That was the shock. خلاص, it was, oh my god. But and then from there, it was, the first thing I did was I searched up the whole idea of the 5 stages of grief. You know, my mind,
survival.
The thing about it is that when it's so ground shaking, you try to grasp onto the ground as much as possible عشان to hold something. You feel like your body's all over the place. You feel like you're not in control. احنا كبني آدمين أكتر حاجة بنخاف منها إن احنا when we lose control. And this is exactly what happened. And it happens to anybody that loses someone, especially when it's a shock. بس طبعا I did my research, I did everything. What am I gonna do? حتى when I went to my therapist, I was doing so many things, but so many ways to just try to ground myself and to heal from this grief. In the first couple of months, طبعا the 5 stages of grief: denial, bargaining, anger, depression, and acceptance, which they're the 5. حتى I have them يعني memorized in the back of my head. Okay, this is.
Bless you.
But when I found out all of these things, I realized in the middle of it, I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? When I went to my therapist, she's the one that said it, because I was thinking to myself, why am I doing all this? But when I went to my therapist, she was like, عشان كنت بقول لها بقى أنا عايزة أعمل كذا مش عارفة أعمل إيه. She looked at me, she was like, Natalie,
just feel it.
Stop trying to get over it. You will never get over grief. And that's when it was like you know what I mean? It was like a switch. You will never in your life get over grief. Rather, it will go through with you in life. And it becomes a part of your story. It becomes a part of who you are. It creates thicker skin. فاهمة؟ At some point you're just right. I know كمان انت you're very fresh. You're at the first stages كمان. بس طبعا the things I'm telling you, they're gonna be mid and by the end. I'm still, it's been less than a year. But it was the acceptance, which is the last part of grief. is I'm not there yet. وحاجة تانية برضو, just to let you guys know. These 5 stages, they don't go, okay, denial, and then anger, and then it's not like that.
No, nothing
هي
is that
هتنط
simple.
back and forth, فاهمة?
Yeah.
One day I'm like, I'm okay, alhamdulillah, he's in a better place, I'm happy, I'm great. 5 minutes later,
Why is
and I'm bawling my eyes out. I'm like, why would this happen? I'm so mad, I'm so angry, everything.
Yeah.
It's like an emotional roller coaster that you simply cannot control. The best way to go through it is to just go through it.
Yeah. أنا بالنسبة لي أنا 2 years ago actually I suddenly lost Ami. Our family lost him suddenly really يعني أنا قعدت أصلا تقريبا almost an hour just calling different people in my family. أنا مش فاهمة إيه اللي حصل. مش فاهمة إيه اللي حصل.
Control.
ده أول مثلا نص ساعة. تاني نص ساعة أعمل إيه؟ عشان كده ما قلتيها أنا دلوقتي أعمل إيه؟ يعني أعمل إيه؟ حد يقول لي أروح فين؟ أكلم مين؟ You're so helpless لأن this is one of those moments بتلاحظي الحياة أكبر مننا بكتير. فدي بالنسبة لي كانت وجعتني. لا يعني ما هي طبيعي وجعتني. لا it stabbed. It مش عارفة الكلمة إيه.
عارفة it was like, especially because I know you before all this and stuff, and I've seen you before and stuff. You're a type of person, and I believe I am too. It's like there's a problem. إيه الحل؟
بعدين أقع بقى مش مشكلة. بس
إيه الحل؟ فاهمة؟ What's the what إيه؟ عايزين result بقى عشان إيه to get over all this, just to get over all this bullshit, just put it on the side. But in circumstances like this, there is no way to just get over it. You can't. There's no solution.
No.
There's no solution. You're the only solution is to just feel it.
And then
you know?
And then مثلا يعني that made me realize كمان it was 2020 where all like everything that was happening was showing you انت مفيش حاجة in your control ومفيش حاجة مضمونة ومفيش حاجة promised. For that then was like what the hell? فاهمة? Like يعني sometimes you think of like losing certain people in your life, but like genuinely when it happens فجأة you're like I never saw this coming. And then 2 years later now my grandmother and these 2 people were pillars of our family home. اللي انتي ما فيش يوم نخش بيت جدتي, which anyone who has known me has probably went to my grandmother's house where I lived all through high school. كلنا عشنا في البيت ده وتربينا في البيت. That's our home يعني. That's البيت اللي لممنا. النفرين اللي حتى when no one's there are gone. And that to me has broken me because يعني I wrote in my notes after I found out about my grandmother like the next day كتبت حاجة along the lines of like we think that when we lose someone when they're older it gets easier because you kind of see it coming and they've lived a full life and you have more of a life to distract you, but that's not true because you start, it's like your deepest roots are breaking. How steady and stable are you actually? That's what it did for me.
Here's the thing. Do you think that she was a root or she was masking your root? Because initially the only roots you have was
of the family, not of me as an individual. هي lighthouse واحنا وراها, هي الميتريارك واحنا فاهمة قصدي, she's the safe zone, she's the home, هي اللي بتلم العيلة, هي اللي هي فاهمة, وهي يعني ما اعرفش اقول لك ايه اكتر من كده, فاهمة قصدي. فدي بتخليكي برضو تشوفي الدنيا بطريقة شوية. يعني انا اليومين دول حاسة يا ناتالي كأني جلدي اتكحت وانا مش قادرة حاجة تلمسني, فاهمة. my body hurts, my joints hurt. I'm not like why like يعني أنا عندي حتة defense اللي هو دي يعني سنة الحياة وهو this has to happen وهي مرتاحة وفي حتة أحسن وتستاهل.
That's your mind.
That's my mind. بس أنا my heart كأني واخدة كرباج في البحر. وأنا بعمل my joints hurt, my nervous system. النهاردة بقولك أنا يعني I have 4 or 5 symptoms of a nervous breakdown. I'm pretty sure when I'm done with today, I'm gonna have a nervous breakdown. I'm sure of this.
It's because of the thing we're talking about today.
Because of everything, right? Because when you...
كل حاجة بتسمع, you know what I mean? One thing happens, like, I'll give you an example. Someone that was very dear to me also was grieving my love's lost. And she had pain in specific areas in her body due to just being sad. Like, let's say when your heart is broken because you're grieving, you're gonna find مثلا your arm hurting, your fingers, because it's all connected.
Right.
We're all connected, you know. So when one thing happens, the other thing happens. You start having a headache. So it's I'm not gonna say it is normal. It's common for this to happen. It's not supposed to, but this is how it is. Because you're grieving, you're in the process of it. You're still new to it, and it's still, from how you're speaking, I feel like it's a bit of the denial part. Because you're in denial, there's a part where you're like, okay, alhamdulillah, it happened, whatever, everything happens for a reason, alhamdulillah, she's in a better place, all that.
الاسطوانة.
بالضبط. But then when you go back home, and I'm sure when you end up sleeping, you're like, what? إيه ده?
Yeah.
How? You know? No, how am I not gonna be able to speak to her? You know, like how? This is not, doesn't make sense.
Or how fast has life gone, and like this whole chapter of your life that's like خلاص, like nothing will ever necessarily be the same, which is an idea to grieve on its own. And that's okay, but it's still something. حتى معدتك ساعات بتبقى مش قادرة digest it بقى اديله nausea بقى اديله
that's what I'm saying. It's all connected. يعني and this is بقى grief. And this is grief.
And grief. But here's what I'll tell you. On the subject of grief, we're going to talk about how to support someone if they're grieving, because دي حاجة مهمة قوي. And then هنتكلم في shall I say, the spiritual portal that opens when you've lost someone you really love, if you're able to feel it.
I don't know. I feel like it's a tricky topic to talk about. No?
I know,
like,
but trust me. We'll هنحاول. Okay.
I just feel like people are very not skeptical. Okay, here's the thing. I believe that this kind of portal doesn't necessarily open up unless they have experienced it, unless they have experienced the loss that was so like dear to them.
Yeah.
But if they haven't, they're gonna be like, what are these two talking about?
And that's okay. بصي that's okay. يعني احنا مش بنبيع حاجة. احنا بنتكلم عن تجربتنا احنا. مبدئيا مثلا أنا هقول لك مثلا point وانتي قولي لي your experience with this. Okay. أنا شخصيتي, and you've known me since forever, بعرف أمسك نفسي كويس قوي. Okay. Well, this has opened the door for مش هشتم فيهم بقى, بس يعني ناس فاضية to question the authenticity of my grief مثلا, or إني لازم أعمل حاجة معينة عشان أوري إن أنا متضايقة, أو لازم أبقى متدمرة عشان الناس تحس إن أنا I need support. Let people grieve. Let people grieve بطريقتهم. ليه لازم أجريف بالطريقة المكتوبة أو باللي انتوا شايفينها culturally؟ طب ما تسيبوني أنا النهاردة مثلا I want to grieve by working, أو إن أنا أشوف ناس واضحك شوية, أو إن أنا مش لازم أبقى منهارة وبعيط وبرطم وبصرخ. يعني مش لازم نركز مع حد بقى في الحتة دي. الناس they have to بصي دي خارجة قبل 40 دي أكيد مش متضايقة, إيه ده عرف بقى. حلو grief looks
so different for everyone.
يعني ساعات حتى أنا بقعد أقول am I grieving? Am I distracting myself? Am I over it? And then I go, no, just kidding.
You want to know something actually? One of the best ways that I went through grieving.
Why are we laughing? This is defense mechanism.
No, yeah. I was just about to say, one of the most ways that I have went through grieving was major dark humor. Major. يعني للدرجة اللي I had my closest friends, like when they would hear me, they'd laugh, because honestly I would make the most funniest jokes about this, but they'd look at me like, oh girl, this is a major defense mechanism, you know, like this is really, and it's true. But actually when I read something like an article about it before, that a way when you make it, like when your defense mechanism is making humor about something that's tragic or like a trauma, that's like a sign of intelligence. So I was like, okay, so I'm not using my mind. I'm okay.
You know? Natalie, you and I, whenever we meet each other, we're the kind of souls that when we meet, we just have hours worth of conversations. And true. I never thought the day that I have you on my podcast, but here we are.
We can talk about a lot of other things. But I mean, this is something we both encounter.
No one talks about it. دي حاجة يعني الحاجة الوحيدة اللي بضمنا لنا هي ده. فهو أولا there's no way to go through it except through it. مفيش emotion صح أو غلط. ما نركزش مع بعض what grief looks like. بجد يعني stop.
Here's the
I
thing.
have nothing else. Stop it. Stop.
Here's the
Stop.
thing. The best way I have, and I am honest to God, I am so blessed and I'm so thankful for the support system that I had throughout this year. I was gonna say like shout out to like, no, I'm not gonna do that. But like I had, alhamdulillah, great support system to guide me and to help me and to tell me what the right from wrong, because it went to the extent where I was literally looking my friends eye to eye and I was like, tell me exactly what to do because I don't know. مش عارفة. Like you can literally tell me dress as a clown and I will do it, فاهمة?
But you know
Just
why,
to-
Natalie? Because احنا حياتنا كلها متبرمجة ان انتي لو ما يحصل كذا تعملي كذا، لما تحسي بكذا
Right.
تعملي كذا، لو اتضايقتي روحي
Right.
فرفشي عن نفسك شوية، لو عندك مشكلة روحي غيري جو، لو طب ما تحسي، ما تقعدي في خرا وتحسي بيه.
لا على فكرة ده غير ان انا اصلا when after he passed away ده انا جالي كورونا فاهمة 2 days after فاهمة.
لا من الجنازة بقى.
Oh yeah from the جنازة I got COVID. I'm just sitting there grieving. I'm like wow God like you're really like this is a great
قعدتي
test.
لوحدك أسبوعين بعدين.
Yeah.
Did you not lose your mind?
I'm telling you, everything happened for a reason. But alhamdulillah, it happened as is, and I'm okay with it. At the beginning, I was like, I might as well lose a limb at this point. Like, what difference does it make? خلاص, I'm already in shits. So, what do you have next for me? You know, I'm just sitting there. I'm like,
bring it on, huh?
Bring it on. You know, but I was gonna say. One of the most things I'm so blessed and I'm so thankful for from my support system is that it's so simple. Just listen. The fact that I had people just listen to me and I was talking shit. I was losing my mind. This is a person I've loved for half my life. I've loved this guy since I was 15. You know what I mean? For this to happen now, it's ground shaking. I'm telling you, it was a part of me that was lost. So I'm sitting and I'm talking ape like nothing. Doesn't make sense. But the idea that I had friends that were just sitting there, they're like, yeah, I understand. You know?
Yeah, you know what? That you make a great point because actually I think the reason that my nervous breakdown, like I was able to literally go through the symptoms today and I've been up since 3 a.m. This is totally honest. نمت الساعة 12 صحيت الساعة 3 ورفص في السرير وقال له عارفة لما تبقي بتقلبي اللي هو كده بقى اللي هو مش طايقة نفسك اللي هو القرف ده بقى.
Do you feel like because of this podcast? Because of this one?
No, أنا خالص بالعكس. I'll tell you why. لا ما هو لو كان كده كنت كنسلت اليوم بحاله بس لا فاهمة. اللي محسسني بكده إن أنا because I have always been strong and independent. Okay, I'm very reliable. قرف. Okay. ما بقاش ليا الحق. حتى مع عيلتي ما بقاش ليا الحق.
عشان she can handle it.
Because I can handle it. فخد بقى شيلي عندك. وما بتسمعش. مش حاسة ان انا لما كل ما اجي اشتكي لحد بس يا لولو انتي
مش عارفة
يا بنتي ده المشاكل في الدنيا. Just let me complain. Just let me bitch. Let me talk. Stop telling me اللي انا حاسة بيه ده. It's not the worst thing. بس هي عارفة ما تزعليش هي أنا زعلانة.
You can handle
أنا بقى زعلانة.
what are you gonna do about it?
أنا بقى زعلانة. ما تزعلش حاطة ثانية حاطين صور أهو أوكي خلاص مشتي. خلي عقلك على الذكاء. خلي الواحد يفضفض إن أنت تحسس حد إن المشكلة دي فيها أكبر منها.
It's not that they're belittling you, but they're just basically telling you can handle it and you're fine. No.
Or there's worse. It could be worse. No, I don't care. Right now, I feel this, and I have the right to feel it, and just let me say it, and that's all I'm asking for.
This is why it's just important to just listen. Don't respond. Just understand. Understand what the person is
أنا بقى
going
واخدة
through.
الاسطوانة دي بقالي 3 weeks. يا إما devalidating إنه for some reason we shouldn't grieve grandmothers because they're grandmothers. Like everyone can go fuck themselves for thinking that. مبدئيا.
She was a mother figure to you.
She was a mother figure to me, of course. She was a mother to all of us. 100,000%. تاني حاجة إن it could always be worse. أو إن هو لا ما تزعليش ده قضاء ربنا ومحدش مش عارف إيه. أيوة قضاء ربنا و صح.
You don't want to hear this.
وأنا لسه ليا حق أزعل. طب ليا حق أزعل. فاهمة قصدي؟ بالعكس هما لما تحسسي اللي قدامك اللي أنت حاسس بيه ده عادي مش هيجنن. طول ما يعني أنا دلوقتي بقيت حاسة هو أنا am I actually losing my mind؟ ليه كل حد محسسني إن هو like I don't have the right to feel the way I'm feeling.
Of course you do.
you know
Yeah.
you actually تخيلي انا بقى البودكاستر اللايف كوتشر القويه اللي شخصيتي بقى مش عارف
You're
ايه
human.
بقيت احس ان انا هو انا اتجننت ولا انا فعلا انا حاسه كده بسبب and what a sin to make someone feel like they're crazy for having feelings. What a sin.
It's because you've portrayed this identity of I can handle it.
I could handle it, but shit just got
here's the
bigger.
thing. But here's the
Shit
thing.
just kept getting bigger.
Here's the thing. It's because with what you're talking about, it makes complete sense that you have surrounded and revolved yourself around people with the idea and the energy that you are, I'm okay. I can handle it. Subconsciously, this attracts people that can rely on you. Hell, let's just be there. Let's, with all my respect, with all your surroundings, but the majority of the people that you will attract are people that are gonna be dependent on you because they're like, oh, Lamon is my go-to, so I can like lean on her. So when you need them, they're not there, but not because they don't want to, but because they don't know how to.
What do you mean?
It's I'll tell you.
You want to know how to be there for someone? Just be there. You don't have to say anything specific.
They can be there for you, but then at the end of the day they're gonna be like, يا حبيبتي انت اللي زعلانة ما انت you're better than that وانت عارفة وروحي صلي أو روحي مش عارفة and you're like, shut up. I don't want to hear it. Kama? You're like, you're there, but you're annoying me, so leave. You know? No, it's not about being there. It's about just understanding. It really is. It just goes down to that. And with my experience, and still till today, just the idea of just understand. But the thing is, حتى my closest, the closest people to me that are very dear to me, you just reach a level of just understanding that they cannot be there for you the same way that you are there for them. And I know that you know exactly what I'm talking about because you are a very strong person, mashallah.
I'm so done with that though. تخيلي that I'm at a point where I'm like, أنا بقى مش عايزة أبقى strong. ولا عايزة أبقى independent. هتعملوا إيه بقى؟
Look, regardless.
هتعملوا إيه؟ فاهمة? You get to a point where you're like spiteful.
Yeah, you're just like, you know what? I'm weak, huh? What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do now? Yeah.
You're doing that because you want the person to support you the way that you support them, but it's not gonna happen until you find the specific people.
Right.
And it's rare.
And it's also like a call for attention.
You know?
It's a cry for help.
Oh, exactly.
It's a cry for help.
But what's wrong with that?
Is that?
There's nothing wrong with getting a cry for help. We're humans. People cry for help for you.
Yeah.
You have to do the same for them. But the thing is that not a lot of people can do it. And the point is that, Anna, personally, for me, in this year, I've had people that I've relied on my entire life. But with this specific thing of death, I could not rely for shit. Because their perception of death is not the same. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing with death. It's going to happen to all of us and it's a part of reality. So when a person sees that, they're like, oh shit. Oh my God, so this is going to happen to me. Exactly. And they don't know how to react to it. So it's very, very, very rare to find people that are actually, حتى my therapist, I've had her for a very long time. But in this circumstance, she couldn't help me because it's such a narrow
Okay, can I ask you something? There are certain people that I totally would have expected to stand by me.
And they didn't.
And they didn't.
Because they don't know how to.
Right. I'm just mad. Now I'm just like mad. فاهمة؟
You're like, okay.
As here's the thing. أكيد في حد بيتفرج بالظبط بيمر باللي احنا فيه. فأنا مش هقعد قدامكم وأعمل نفسي بقى متمكنة من أعصابي ومن إحساسي. لا أنا متضايقة ولسه مش فاهمة. يعني دي أول مرة أنا بالنسبة لي grieving my uncle and my grandmother شوية جايين مع بعض لأن أنا اتهربت من grieving my uncle وطلعت مع grieving my grandmother لأن هما الاتنين they symbolize something very similar to me غير إن هي كانت mother figure. Disclaimer aside now. I don't know how to deal with this. أنا فعلا مش عارفة. I'm still figuring it out. I need to be honest with this لأن أي حد في confusion دي that's okay.
Yeah, of course it is.
فاهمة قصدي؟ I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, now I'm mad. Do I have the right to be mad and take it away? You don't support me. You don't even care. I feel like all I've invested in these people is fishing. يعني like F me for even trying with these people. You don't even deserve it. I don't ever want to talk to you again. Like I'm in this phase.
It takes a very, very, very specific level of maturity. مبدئيا كده pick your battles. دي حاجة. But it takes a very specific level of maturity to understand that these people don't know how to help. I've had one of my closest friends just sit there and literally look at me while I'm bawling my eyes out and she's just tapping my shoulder. She's like, Malish, get your fucking hand off of me. Tell me what to do. You know what I mean? But it's not her fault. It's not her fault. There is nothing that they can do. There really isn't, because when it hits them, everyone grieves differently, Lamon. Everybody, you know. And speaking, I wanted to also actually, let's stay on this topic right now. It is what it is. Honestly, it is what it is, and as difficult as it is, you need to find the right. I can't say you need to find the right people. It's either you have it or you don't, you know?
But you know what? No, regardless, and this is why I made it a point for us to do this, and we do it حتى when I'm feeling this fresh. انت حتى قلتي لي, are you sure you're ready ان احنا نقعد نتكلم؟ قلت لك yes.
You have a right to be mad, and unfortunately, and what I realized, because okay, so I was living abroad for a long time, and this 15 days before I moved to Egypt, this situation happened. Okay, so I didn't even have time to grieve the country or my friends or anything where I was living.
God. So much at once.
Oh, فأنا it was so drastic and so much of a life. And also I was already, يعني, when I was on my way from where I was to here, I was already like 3 days bawling my eyes out, and I was so sad because I was finally moving back to Egypt. I was just upset because my friends, and I made a whole family there, you know. If I came back to Egypt and I was like, I can't believe I'm gonna come back here. I'm so sad. I'm gonna miss my friends. Boom.
You're sad? You're so sad? You don't see it. I'm standing up.
Like literally 15 days exactly, he passes away. I'm just like, and then I get COVID, you know?
I'm so sad and I'm so upset.
You know, God is like, yeah. But here's the thing. One thing I learned very, very, يعني what I realized about Egypt generally and how they talk about death in this country was that they have this idea of like معلش هتعدي فاهمة معلش and I get it. What are they gonna say? What else are they gonna say? It's a difficult process. It's difficult to go through.
أنا ما ردتش على 3/4 الناس اللي بتنزيني مش أرد
بالظبط. when it happened
يعني thank you فعلا إن أنتوا فكرتوا فيا بس أنا بجد مش عارفة أرد أقول إيه يعني.
لا when it happened
كل ما بتقريها كل ما
the first couple of days I was getting so many messages. I gave it to my friend. I was like, please answer. I can't answer. I'm not in the place to answer. She was answering all of them because I was like, what am I going to do with these messages? Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you. But I can't focus.
You're not in the state of mind to read it. It's good to know who's there وكده, but I think that's great to have someone else be like, this person asked about you and asked about them. ما تقعدي تقري نفس الحزن بقى.
بالظبط. It's pity too, you know, but it's fine. I understand because if someone passed away, برضو, I would do the same. I would send a message or I'd call or whatever the case is.
It's pity. You think it's pity also?
Maybe I say that because في حتة الstrength يعني فاهمة اللي هو I'm okay, I'm fine.
Do you feel like people pity people that grieve, especially like no خلاص بقى now you're broken?
Oh,
like,
now you're my God, the amount of times when I went outside us and after like it happened by a couple of months. Oh my god, I hate it. I would be sitting there and like I realize the way and نبهت صوتهم, like the way they're talking to me.
غصب عنهم.
بالظبط, and they're like, hi Natalie, how are you? Are you okay? How have you been?
That
like, bitch, if this never happened, you wouldn't even be saying hi to me. You know, I swear to God, you know, like if really, like you wouldn't even be saying hi to me.
Yeah.
It reached to this extent, and it just makes me just look at them and be like, I want to smack you, but I get it. You know.
I know.
But so the reason why I wanted Asan to do this podcast, Asan to begin with, is because I was what like sparked, and the thought in my head was, I had a friend, her father passed away very, very unexpectedly. He was perfectly fine. But it was a very tragic situation. But she posted something and I reached out to her and I told her, if you ever want to speak to somebody, please let me know because I know it's a hard process. I was like, how are you going through it? She was like, khara. And it's been like 5 years, right? I was like, why? She was like, أنا مش مصدقة the way people are dealing with it في البلد. أنا مش مصدقة إن إزاي كل ما بتكلم مع حد they're very awkward, they're very silent, they're very weird. وبحس إن أنا it makes me feel as if, this is what she said. She was like, it makes me feel as if I have to give an extra like oomph out there اللي هو لا, I'm fine. عشان people are so weird around her. Like they made her feel very uncomfortable to the extent اللي هو, are you okay? Are you good? مش عارفة إيه. Don't
it's
pity.
so annoying because
don't
sometimes
pity, you know.
دي بقى حتة مهمة. Sometimes انتوا مش عارفين الواحد بيبقى حاطط مجهود قد ايه انه يعرف يقوم نفسه اصلا او ينزل ويقعد وسط الناس والتدقيق الزيادة ده اللي هو are you okay? Are you having fun?
Yeah, are you
Are you
good?
enjoying it? أي حاجة I'm sure إن هي صافية وجاية من حتة كويسة بس دي بجد حاجة اللي هو أنا لو حد قال لي كده ولما حد مثلا كان بيقول لي كده مش شرط حتى من grief ممكن أكون I'm going through a really hard time وبجد جاية على نفسي عشان أنزل وبجد حاطة effort and then as soon as you say this it's like you just devalidated all the effort it took and you can see right through me فبجد اللي هو why did I even try
بالظبط.
if I لو خلاص دلوقتي now that I think that you see me as sad or not على بعضي then خلاص I'm just I can't act out of it. Just let people be. If you don't know how to be there, ask how can I be there for you? How do you
What
need
do you
me?
need?
Use me how you like. Use me how you like. You don't need to know what to say. You don't need to know what to do. Sometimes you don't even need to say or do anything. Just
But here's the thing,
Just
يعني,
anything.
just to not confuse. يعني أنا okay, I'll give you an example because yeah, this was something that was I'm wearing socks or whatever.
a big basic.
احنا we're both like you.
Okay, we're gonna talk about this. We're very scared.
We're comfortable.
We're very comfortable on this.
The thing, it's very like I'm defensive kind of.
We're doing our best.
We're trying, yeah.
We're trying.
So, just to not confuse, يعني, this topic, يعني, when a person is grieving, I really believe it's really important to it's not, you don't have to act weird around them, but just act normal. Like, hi, how are you? How are you doing? Is everything okay? Good? Okay, طيب. And if you didn't know them for a long time, but don't give that extra like, oh, yeah. This is the reason why, okay? A couple of months after I went out, and it was the first time, it was 2 months after, and I decided to go out, and it was a lot of people in the space, like more than 50, 60. I knew I had in mind that I was gonna bump into people, so I was like, okay, whatever. I'm ready to meet people. Everyone already knew about
just
this
gotta get over it.
tragedy.
Get
whatever.
it over with.
So I went and I was like, okay. Oh my god! The first awesome interaction I had was this girl. Well, every time I used to see her, Aslan, she was very like, hey, how are you? Good? Okay, bye. You know what I mean? It was very like platonic. So I was like, okay, whatever. This time. She saw me. She did the same exact thing that we were talking about. Hi, how are you? Are you okay? When did you move back? It was that kind of sort where I just wanted to like, shut up.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of pity where it just made me feel like I wanted to look at you and like, I'm gonna be.
And there's also you can always sense when someone is asking because they care and
بالزبط.
they're asking because they're curious.
بالزبط.
So how's she doing بقى, huh? How is she coping with that? Especially like فاهمة in your situation where it's like
Tragedy.
it's really tragic.
Oh, طبعا.
It's
طبعا. A lot of people, and I know a lot of people ask my friends. يعني I know the
Are you sure يعني ولا حاساها كده بتمثل ولا تعمل whatever's getting her through it right now as long as she's processing or
طبعا.
anyone's processing.
طبعا.
عايزة نخش في الكلام اللي هو ممكن مش ناس كتيرة تتفق معانا فيه but who cares, this is our truth.
But wait.
Oh.
I wanted to talk about something else though.
ايه قولي لي.
I just wanted to highlight, you know, because when you were talking about your uncle and you were saying in Nikita you were trying to escape it. Death is, you know, if you go through a breakup, if you go through a tragic event, whatever the case is, I believe that death is the only thing you cannot escape, especially when it's somebody super close to you. So let's say when you go through a breakup, people will do drugs, people will do rebounds, people will, I don't know, go out, ignore, ha, I'm fine, go back home, cry, whatever. But death is the only one where you don't, it just leaves you in such a confined space. It's either you face it
or you face it later. But you facing it anyway.
You face it. Because that's the thing. With death, it's the only reality that me, you, and everything is gonna have. I was just speaking to somebody right now, and he was like, everything rejuvenates into this world. I don't know if rejuvenate is the right term, but you die, you become a fertilizer, something else comes out. Something happens, something else comes out. You know what I mean? A tree dies, something else will come out, you know?
Well, yeah, that's the part of death that actually reassures us that there's something so much bigger at play here that we really forget on a day-to-day basis. إن مش إن إحنا بننسى ربنا، لا مش قصدي، إن إحنا بننسى عظمة الدنيا وتوقيتها ومواعيدها، وإن في حاجات معينة مكتوبة ومرسومة، وفي طاقات معينة، وفي في أسباب أعلى مننا بكتير. يعني إحنا في يومياتنا بننسى كده. إحنا صغيرين قوي. إحنا
And we make it feel like the world, but here's the crazy thing, and احنا we're so small, but from our perspective we feel like the whole world is inside of us, because it is, huh? But when you feel like, when I figured out that he passed away, it was like the perfect term I can use is that I just felt like my world was just caving in, literally. I know it sounds very cliche, but I felt like everything was just, you know what I mean, like just going dark, خلاص. It was when I went out for a walk because I needed to walk my dog. مثلا everything looked so lively because it was spring too. So the trees were out, the flowers were, everything was so beautiful.
But it was 2D to you. Like,
it's so dull.
You're detached. You're detached. ده أوحش إحساس. Wow.
You're dull. You're literally, you feel like you're dull. That's يعني whatever you see is literally your world. But then again, we're so small if you look at reality. And when I talk about reality, I'm talking here, you know, in this world, this dimension.
Human experience that we're in.
We're so small.
No.
You know? And we make it seem like it's huge. Not that I'm belittling me or you or any of our emotions. It's valid and it's there. But we're so tiny, you know? And الدنيا مش بتقف لحد. مش بتقف.
وكلنا رايحين. No one comes out of your life anyway.
No one comes.
That's the deal.
Yeah. Nothing is permanent. That's what it is. Nothing is permanent. Everything will pass, just as this world. Everything just keeps passing by.
You know, كل ما أتكلم على مشكلة أو حاجة مثلا معينة، الconclusion بيبقى هو maybe مفيش remedy أو طريق معين أو know how إزاي تعدي بحاجة صعبة أو بأي حاجة، بس الحاجة الوحيدة اللي بلاقيها في كل الحاجات دي بتساعد تلاقي حد كلام معاه. Sometimes all you need to do is talk. والله. That's it. Sometimes all you need to do is talk, feel heard, and feel like your feelings are valid. That's it. عارفة دي بمليون زلام وزانكس وبقى اديله مهدئات بقى وبمليون antidepressants.
But some people don't know how to speak though. That's the thing.
But I think it's because we were never really given the space to. يعني it wasn't a norm. We didn't grow up really.
Who's we?
We as a generation, as a human species. احنا كلنا في العالم كله أهالينا وجدودنا عاشوا حياة سطحية أكتر، هي اللي واخدة الأهمية. منظرنا ازاي، بيتنا ازاي، سلوكياتنا ازاي، الأصول، الناس، البواب. دلوقتي بقى في اهتمام أكتر. مش مهم الناس هتقول ايه، بس أنا نفسي محتاجة ايه، عشان خلاص الناس انت دلوقتي انا عايشه بالتروماز بتاعتي وبتاعت امي وبتاعت جدتي ومش بعيد.
Why pass it down؟
فكفايه بقى. يعني هطلع بيبي بالكهرباء، فاهمه؟ مش عنده بقى، فاهمه؟ مش هيعرف nervousness فعلا. really. you know دي حاجات بتبقى وراثيه، بتبقى في الاخر طول ما هي في جسمك بتغير في جيناتك، في الجينات بتاعت الريبرودكتيف سيستم بتاعك، بتغير في الجيناتكس اللي انت بتعملي منها طفل أو روح جديدة. لازم نقطع الروتين في حتة يعني.
Yeah.
You know?
Breaking generational curses. Cycles?
Yeah. Generational trauma.
Generational cycles. Yeah. But it's true, yeah. No, I agree. I definitely agree. I think, you know, it's a huge problem that, but يعني, here's the thing. And I was telling you when it was cut off that this generation and the world that we live in today, it's a huge spiritual warfare, which is the term I'd like to use.
Especially now.
Oh yeah. Since the 90s, I believe. يعني early 80s it was خلاص decreasing, but in the 90s and the 2000s, it's a huge spiritual warfare. And what I mean by spiritual warfare is that the reason why people are looking into mental health so much is because I believe they're losing hope. Mm-hmm. They're losing hope of, okay, what do I do? Okay, I have bipolar disorder, so طالما it's labeled, it's better. But the thing is it's where is the root? Where is the root? يعني, okay, you're having all these things, but where is it based? And this is about the spiritual, where the spiritual warfare comes
مش
in.
فاكرة كان maybe it was Luli or someone. حد كنت بكلم على البودكاست. We were talking about mental health issues. ووصلنا للكونكلوجن هو مفيش حد طبيعي في الايام دي ما عندوش او مش هيكون عنده mental health issues, لانه ما ينفعش حد طبيعي يمر بالدنيا اللي احنا بنمر بيها ويبقى عادي. اوكي I'm not affected. يعني you even if you're not aware you are affected. You don't have to be aware بس you are affected. فأنا شايفة إنه لا, لو واحد حاسس إنه هو بيمر بظروف mental health issues أو بأحاسيس معينة أو whatever, that good on you. That means you're healthy, you're susceptible, you're not distracting yourself or lying to your conscious mind about the reality. Yes, it is a very scary time. It's a hard time. There's a lot of negative things happening. You are affected by it. That's okay.
But this is a part of life, no?
Yeah.
This is a part of, this is, yani, we are here, we are put into this world,
Yeah.
so we can experience the dark and the good and the dark and the good, and this is it, you know?
And yeah,
and
together.
يعني, and here's يعني, the conclusion of it for me is الدنيا دي مش سهلة ليكي ولا لأي حد, مش سهلة لأي حد, بس you find the beauty in the difficulty.
Yeah, together. أنا دي حتة ناقصة يا جماعة. الناس ما بقاش في
people are trying
interpersonal relationships, ما بقاش في بالطريقة دي. يعني I don't know.
I think, and this is why, again, I'll go back to the spiritual warfare in terms of people are trying their best to find a way to be happy. They're trying their best to hold on and to be happy and to just try to see the best in everything in life. And I'm sad? No, why? What do you mean? It's okay to be sad, you're human. What do you mean?
Yeah.
That's the thing. And when you realize and when you accept that it's okay for you to feel the way you're feeling, that's when you're like, okay. Now I'm good with myself, you know? But feel it, you know? You're going through grief, feel it. You're going through sadness, you're going through a breakup, you're going through
you don't know what you're going through حتى.
Yeah, if you don't know it, just feel it, you know? But this is why, again, spiritual warfare is that the spiritually they're not مش there. يعني احنا كgeneration we're not intact with our souls very much. That makes us kind of very في الدنيا دي, which is not a bad thing to be grounded. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about groundedness. I'm talking about feeling so into this world to the extent where when they see sadness, they really grasp onto it and they try their best to be happy because happiness is the only way for dignity, which is not true. It's not true. We completely went off grief, by the way.
but it's related.
Yeah.
Because grief, it's related. ما انتي لما تيجي تفكري في grief وتبقي عارفة في مخك ان ده مش بس هيحصل لكل حد بس هيحصل لك انتي كمان, بتبتدي تراجعي حياتك.
And that is inevitable.
عمرك. It's inevitable.
Yeah.
وبعدين ما الجريف ملخبط. ما هو الجريف مش شرط ان انا هعيط على الفلان الفلاني وبس. يعني انا مثلا بحس بالجريف, انا حاسه بماي جريف, بس انا حاسه بامي وحاسه بابويا وحاسه باخواتي وحاسه بقرايبي وحاسه.
But this is بقى where you need to have the barrier and the boundary.
بالظبط.
But كده and especially because maybe you're an emotional person or you feel with people's energies because it's the same thing. يعني أنا when I'm on a phone call with someone, I'll feel their energy and I'll feel exactly what they're going through. But this is something that ترجع لك أنتي.
ما دي ترجع لي.
Because this is not their fault. This is yours because you should be creating that barrier اللي هو okay, they're feeling 1, 2, 3. Wait. This is not my emotions. This is theirs. Release.
Yeah.
Not me. This is you, you know?
Yeah, I do not believe that your relationship with someone ends when they pass. I actually think it transforms.
I was like trying so hard to not talk about this.
I know that.
We're like trying to drift. Yeah, it is what it is.
لأن دي حاجة حقيقية وبتريح. as controversial as it might be, ولا كل واحد بقى حر مخه بيجننه مش مهم يسوحه. يعني whatever.
Not everyone feels like this, by the way. Not everyone feels like this. It depends on the person how spiritually intact they are.
مثلا
yeah.
أنا حلمت بجدتي يوم ما توفت قبل ما تتوفى.
I'm not laughing about this.
لا عادي أنا كمان
It's a very tricky topic to talk about because not everyone understands it. That's what I mean. Not everyone.
That's okay. So that's okay. I'm gonna say my piece and they can understand it the way they want or not. وده عادي. ده عادي. Wow.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. أنا صحيت لأني كنت نايمة وبحلم وحلمت ان انا جدتي عملت لي حاجه زي كده, فانا حسيت بيها لدرجه اني صحيت وفي حته في مخي وانا
And you
لسه
saw her, huh?
saw
How
her
did she
كده.
look?
لا she was like light and transparent at the same time، يعني ميه ونور في نفس الوقت، بس جميله فاهمه. انا نايمه وكان حلم بسيط قوي يعني معرفش انا شفتها بتضحك كده and she's عارفه زي ما انا اتمشى from next to you I walk like this and then I just do this and I carry on my walking. فانا كنت نايمه وحسيت بكده، فحتى صحيت ولسه حاسه ان حد لمسني هنا، انا يعني ده مخي بقى whatever، وفي حته في اللخبطه وان انا لسه صاحيه ومش فاهمه ايه الحقيقه وايه لا. قلت معقوله النهارده وبعدين صحيت بعديها بنص ساعه مثلا وانا لا خلاص قمت. ودليل على كده ان انا بالصدفه قريبتي في امريكا فكانت لسه ما نامتش.
So when you had that dream, was she pronounced dead?
No, but she was
in the process
unconscious يعني خلاص she was unmonitored.
So her spirit was يعني roaming. So she wasn't awake.
Okay. She wasn't. ف بالصدفه قريبتي كانت هي عايشه في امريكا، فانا صحيت بدري قوي وهي كانت لسه ما نامتش، فلقيتها بعتالي هي واتساب وبتاع، فبنطمن على بعض لان هي كانت جدتي تعبت كذا يوم 4 days كده وكانت في المستشفى، فبنطمن بس احنا كلنا متقلقين it's gonna be fine, she's gonna be good, you're good. فاللي هو محدش واخد خوانه انه ممكن حاجه تحصل، يعني it's not like I was thinking and anticipating، لا it wasn't، كنا بنشوف الدنيا فيها ايه ولسه فيها يعني فاهمه. فقلت لها لا اقول لك حاجه، انا حلمت بماما نون امبارح، حلمت بماما نون يعني قبل ما اصحى. شي زي كده بجد حلمتي ايه؟ قلت لها 1 2 3 فقالت لي damn dude I don't know maybe you're thinking about her وبتاع. قلت لها لا يعني حلمت بيها ان شاء الله خير، she looked well فان شاء الله means she's healthy. بس انا عارفه اني بكذب على نفسي، وفضلت اليوم كله مقتنعه ان she's fine وهتعدي وهخلص. كان عندي event اليوم ده، شغل اليوم كله، وهعدي عليهم في المستشفى بعدين واقعد معاها واشوف كل حد واشوف كل ده. وحتى قعدت اقول طب يعني انا كنت عايشه في alternate reality، بس انا 100% مقتنعه انه everything is fine. انا عرفت ازاي، هما كلهم قالوا ما حدش يقول لها لان هي she's working. مسكت تليفوني لقيت ناس بتعزيني، فانا عرفت I knew and then when I knew that I had known all day.
Oh, they didn't tell you على طول.
No, I actually till this day I actually don't know what time she actually passed, but I know it was في النور. وانا عرفت متاخر بالليل. انا مش بس كده، انا قريت التعزيه لان انا التليفون ما كانش معايا اليوم كله، كان معايا حد وانا ما بلحقش 1 minute وبطلع على المسرح تاني for 12 hours. فانا تليفوني الاول do not disturb عشان ورايا يوم بحاله I don't want my phone to die. فقلت لها لا بصي انتي اقفلي التليفون وبيفتحي صوري، افتحي نزلي صوره كابشن اعملي كذا. ظبطت لها كل حاجه. I didn't have time، وانا بالنسبه لي الشغل رايحه مفروض exposure وفي حاجات معينه متفقين عليها وكذا. فحتى لما بتفتح تصورني it's on do not disturb، فهي ما بيطلع لهاش notifications. فانا لما مسكت التليفون ما كانش عندي notifications. I just had a bunch of like numbers over WhatsApp وبتاع. فقلت ايه يعني انا مش not like hosting the Oscars يعني دي كل المسجز دي. فلقيت ناس بتعزيني فقلت امسكي، وطلعت المسرح ونزلت وطلعت ونزلت وطلعت ونزلت. يا نهار اسود، هاتي موبايلي ثانيه انا لازم امشي. يعني it took me a minute to understand because my body's like no this is not happening, no it's not happening, it's not true. اهو بصي حتى اهو بصوا هاي يا it's not happening. And then
and you were like speaking in front of you're hosting, huh?
I was hosting.
Oh my god.
وواقفه by that point بقى واقفه على رجلي بقالي 10 ساعات no break no nothing. حتى 10 ساعات ما ببصش على تليفوني. ومشيت ما خلصتش الايفنت. قلت لها امسكي المايك ده I have to go. I have to go. خلاص. ليه بقى ربنا ظبطها كده؟ دي مش بتاعتي. ليه whatever the case. انا حاسه انا حاسه انه for some على فكره everyone was with her. حتى قرايبنا وعيالها وجدود و all of her grandkids were with her حتى on Zoom وبتاع for her last moments and I wasn't there and I'm not upset about it او بشوفها بطريقه اللي هو I should have been there. أنا بالعكس أنا حاسة إن هي she wanted me to be working. She wanted me to be doing this. لأن this event was a really big deal for me in my career. It's a milestone big time for me.
Of course.
فحسيت إن هو يعني أنا عندي كده جملة في مخي متأكدة كانت ممكن تقولها اللي هو الهبل كلنا هنروح فاهمة اللي هو whatever. فما اعرفش سلمت ممكن سلمت عليا وانا بحلم عشان هي she knew I wouldn't be there. I don't know.
That's a great way to see it. I think that might be it.
بجد هي جت
Yeah.
وعملت لي كده ومشيت وانا صحيت.
She was like, she knows that you had an event, so she was like, you know what, I know she can't be there, فأنا هبقى أسلم عليها. And you saw her in the most beautiful way before, and this was probably the last time you saw her. You know? I know, it's not easy, but at least it was the dream was the best way that you were going to see her, because it was the last time, and that was it, you know? It was that moment, and she knew.
Yeah. They know, عامة, people know. Before, you had moments like that too.
طبعا, of course. طبعا. You feel it, you know? You feel it. Asan 2 days before he passed away, I don't know what it was. It was really weird. But يعني, I was looking at our pictures and I was thinking to myself, like, fly high, rest in peace. I'm like, why the fuck am I thinking that kind of shit? Like, what's wrong with me? You know what I mean? And I totally shrugged it off. But it's an emotion that you feel, you know? But it's probably because this dream, it's very clear. Probably she came to you at that time because she was like saying goodbye. I'm here, but look at me. I'm very beautiful and I'm happy. I'm great at where I am. You're gonna see her again, you know? You're gonna see her again.
I believe in life after death. For sure, I believe in spirits. I believe in energies. I believe إن إحنا we are energetic beings.
يا بنتي والله مش بعيد إن هي أصلاً قاعدة معانا هنا.
عادي خالص. إحنا كنا بنتكلم عنها من شوية. إيه اللي حصل؟ الباب رزع فبصينا لبعض.
No way.
والله.
The windows were closed, no? Everything was closed.
عادي لا قاعدين كده كنا مستنيين حتى أول بودكاست. فكنت بحكي له بنتكلم إن إحنا we're drained وبتاع فقلت له أنا كنت داخلة في
أسابيع شغل. بتقول لك طولي بالك فاهمة؟
ده ما احنا كنت بيقول لي انا تعبان وبتاع قلت له يا ابني انا قعدت 3 شهور بشتغل نون ستوب مفيش يوم اجازه وقلت بعد الايفنت هريح خالص. يوم الايفنت خلصته حصل بعديها جنازه بعديها عزا وبقالنا اسبوعين بقى ناس من ليبيا وناس من هنا وناس من هنا. فقلت له فانا تعبت. الباب راح رزع. قلت له ده ايه ده؟ قال لي لا عادي هوا قلت له هوا
ما كانش هوا. ده ما كانش
هوا
عادي. Their energies are around us and their energies will always be around us because the thing is برضو nothing ever dies 100%.
Nope.
Nothing ever goes away. That's what I wanted to say. When a tree dies, we go into something else. When we die, we go into something else. It's a part. It's a cycle of life. It's a part of life. يعني her body, just the physical body is not here. So you're not going to be able to see her in this dimension anymore, which is sad. It is. It's a goodbye. And this is the hardest part about grief. But she's always there.
And we're going.
Yeah. But regardless, we're going to go and you're probably going to meet her again. And you're probably going to, you know, maybe enter this life again with her. But we're not.
الحلم بيكون كأنه حقيقة.
No, it is.
ما هي بتصحي.
What, did you see the video I sent you? The video أصلا it was a
مقابلة الأرواح.
It was this sheikh that was talking إنه إحنا our souls when we pass and when someone very close to you passes and you dream of them, there's sometimes where you actually see them as is because when you are sleeping your soul is not inside of you. Your soul is roaming around but your conscious mind doesn't remember it. It's in your subconscious and this is why they say subconscious thoughts are your dreams. I agree. They could be. But it is also that you are visiting other realms. You're visiting other dimensions. And when you are there, that's when they see you. And they are so beautiful.
بجد and like young.
So 30s, huh? Yeah.
انا قلت لبابايا كده قال لي قلت له انا شفت عمو صلاح وشفت ماما بتاع قلت وكنت بحكي له قال لي ما احنا لما بنروح عند ربنا كلنا بنبقى في الثلاثينات.
And in there يعني like not to be disrespectful or anything يعني he was a good looking guy but the way that I saw him it's
something else, huh?
لا I can't explain it through words.
When you experience any form of grief and all types of grief would be different in our lives بس ربنا ما يورينا يعني بس when you experience grief الدنيا بتتحط في مقياس عدل. Everything goes back to perspective إنه لا دي مش مستاهلة أزعل عليها أصلا. هو أنا بعد الزعل ده مش زعل بعد ده مش مشكلة. لا بعد المشاكل دي مش مشكلة، دي مش كذا. ربنا برضو النعمة علينا النسيان والdistractions وإن أنتي خلاص
Oh my God! Yeah, I remember the first couple of days when he passed away. My dad, he lost his sister. She was the mother figure in his life, and she passed away very early. And he found out 2 weeks after because he was in Palestine, and he found out through a phone call because he was trying to reach them, and I think there was like issues because it was a time of war. When he found out, and I've never seen my dad cry. It was the first time I ever saw him cry because he was talking about it. And he was like, he told me something. He was like, to forget basically is هاي رحمة. إنك أنتي تنسي النسيان يعني تشكري الله إنه that you forget. يعني تشكري الله إنك أنتي بتعرفي تنسي. I told him, I was like, what? I got so defensive. I was like, يعني إيش أنسى؟ I'm never gonna forget. How am I ever gonna forget something like this? This is something that's so important. And he stood there and he was like, you're gonna see what I mean.
Yeah.
And it's true, you know. As
life
time
goes
passes,
on.
it's not. You're always gonna remember them, but you start to slowly remember them in such a beautiful way in this world. And they're خلاص life.
وفيها ايه يعني لو كل فين وفين عيطتي تاني؟ ايه الموضوع؟ كأنها لسه حاصلة وممكن بقالها 20 سنة.
Here's the thing. I was also talking to one of my friends. She's a psychologist, and so she said something, and it stuck to me since. She gave me such a great analogy, and she was like, "Your grief is basically a ball, okay, and you're in a box. When the person passes away, this ball is so huge, and if the ball touches any of the walls, you cry, breakdown. خلاص, you're triggered, you know. But as time passes, the room is the same, which is your life, but the ball gets smaller and smaller and smaller. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it stops hitting the walls. It's gonna always hit, but it hits in lesser time. So now you might be crying every other day. After a month, you're gonna cry a couple of times, but in a couple of years, you're gonna cry maybe once a month. It's always gonna hit you. It's always gonna hit, because grief and death, when you lose someone, it's not something you forget. You carry it, you put it on you, and it becomes a part of your story. غصب عنك, whether you like it or not, it becomes a part of your story. So you take it with you and you move on through it. Even then, in my case, مثلا, I had to realize, and it took me a while to realize, whoever I meet next in my life, whoever I date again, whoever I marry, whatever the case, inshallah, whatever is written for me, I know that this will be a part of my story, and this will be a part of my identity, because it is.
Right.
And it's the same thing with you.
And do you feel like you can love someone the same again? Or not the same, that's a very stupid question. Do you feel like you can open yourself up to love again, or do you feel like you still need some time?
It's a healing process.
It's
a healing process because it takes a while. It takes a good amount of time, but it's possible طبعا. Yeah, because يعني I know that there's like love ومش عارفة, but there's no such thing as one soulmate.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as
that's true.
You meet your soulmates through your friends, through partners, it could be a parent if you're lucky. Whoever the case is, you can find a complete stranger that's 70 years old and you'll be soulmates with them, because it's a bond connection of your soul. It's not something in this physical realm, but it's something beyond that. You know, it's definitely possible. Yani, I'm still healing, طبعا. I'm still going through the process, and it's not easy. But it is what it is, you know.
We get by. بصي the reason أنا كنت عايزة أعمل podcast النهاردة is because I feel like محدش بيحب يتكلم عن الحاجات دي, بس كله بيفكر وبيخاف منها وبيزعل منها.
It's a part of life.
It's a part of life.
Yeah, like, and it saddens me that people are very uncomfortable to speak about it, but it's your reality. What are you running away from?
وبعدين how can you live a life if you don't acknowledge that there's death at the end of the line? But then we lose perspective.
This is what I'm saying. You know, people, they do anything and everything to avoid the idea of it, but it's there. What are you running away from? You know, what are you running away? It's gonna be there. It's gonna happen to you. And guess what? Any person, let's say a normal person who's gonna live to 70, 80 years old, whatever the case is, you're gonna go through grief. Someone is gonna pass away, whether it's your pet, whether it's your parent, whether it's your friend. You're gonna go through it,
and you're gonna be okay.
Depending on the person.
At some point, you're gonna be okay.
Life goes on. It goes on. الدنيا دي ما بتوقفش لحد. This is something that I hold so dearly to me, and the world is not stopping for me just because someone passed away in my life. The world's gonna keep going.
Yeah.
So I either go through it or I stop, or I stop time. Stop as much as you want, and especially because it's your first couple of months. Stop as much as you want. Take a moment and just really inhale and take like, what the fuck just happened? It's normal. It takes time. And then throughout you're like, okay, now I can actually function as a normal human being. And عن نفسي, it took me maybe 3 months, 4 months to actually speak and talk comfortably.
Yeah.
It's not something easy, but again, it's a part of life, and it's completely normal. It is what it is. It's not
grief,
easy.
folks. It's grief.
There you have it.
And there you have it, folks.
But we didn't talk much about the spiritual side, though.
Is there anything you want to say? You can. أصل يعني
دي سكة تانية. This is why it's so deep. It's the idea of spirituality and the life after death is another podcast in
it's
itself.
a whole other ولازم نبقى دارسين هنقدمها ازاي عشان ما نتهزقش على الفاضي. يعني
بالزبط.
ليها
وليها
علم وليها دين
بالضبط
وليها تجربة.
It's God. Huh?
It's God. But you know what? With grief comes a very weird sense of comfort. Does that make sense?
Of course it does. Of course it does.
ما عنديش حاجة تانية ولا هي كده. It comes a very nice sense of
because you're just because you're just like, okay, this is life. Okay, ماشي.
دي بسيطة. دي سريعة. هتعدي.
وكلنا
But you know what? برضو the other thing is إنه grief as a concept is so or death, it's so big to grasp at once.
طبعا.
فايه سايسي
ground shaking يا بنتي. ground shaking.
سايسي نفسك.
it's ground shaking بس
واكتر الوقت هتحسي انت حاسه بحاجه بس انت اصلا مش واخده بالك ان this is part of your grief. You just think you're being one way or another for whatever reason, بس هي it is grief. عارفه؟
but take care من الحته دي انه not everything that you're gonna, at first it is, but not everything you're gonna do for the rest of your life is based on grief, because it's not part of our
I'm saying
identity,
when you're grieving, in the moment.
In your circumstance, with all my respect,
I don't know what I'm feeling. I have no idea what I'm feeling.
And it's normal.
I have no idea
and it's okay.
what I'm feeling.
Fama? You feel confused, you feel like you're lost, you feel like you have so many things.
Here's exactly how I feel. I feel very spiritually
enlightened.
في awake كده في كده انا يعني في spiritual في حاجات في حسب حاجات كده حسب شوف حاجات ما اعرفش حاسه في spiritual في عارفه لما تكهربي العربيه or you just bring someone to life, as weird of a pun and metaphor as that is. بس انا حاسه ان انا الspirituality بتاعي كده ايه في حاجه بتحصل بفهمها. دي حاجه. حاسه ان انا كاني بنط في البحر بس خدت كرباج. حاسه ان انا زي ما لما تتنفسي والدنيا بارده قوي it hurts, my chest hurts, يعني لدرجه ان انا حسيت اني عيانه but I'm not. حاسه ان انا كل جوينت في جسمي كاني يعني اولمبيان، فاهمه؟ عملت بقى شقلباظات وحاسه ان انا I'm sad, I'm just sad.
That's okay.
عارفه؟ وفي نفس الوقت مش عايزه ابقى سعد، مش عايزه اعيش في السعد، عايزه ابقى سعد من غير ما اعيش في السعد لان بحس انه بياكل بعضه. فبحاول ان انا فاهمه اركب العجله، اشوف شويه شمس، اشتغل شويه. يعني انا دلوقتي I'm working، بس على فكره انا I'm working بمزاجي. يعني كلاينتس اللي بشوفها ناس معينه مش كلهم، البودكاست اللي بصورها بمزاجي مش على حسب السكادجول اللي انا كنت عاملاه. I'm having the conversations I need because the last thing I want is to give in and spiral. There's one thing to go through something, but it's another thing to give into something. And it's a very fine line. Going through it, you do the work. بتراجعي نفسك، بتحسي وبتصحصحي
it's a very thin line where you can lose yourself.
بالظبط. And just giving into it بتستسلمي. يعني في فرق. كوكا كانت بتقولي كده مرأتي، في فرق بين انك انت تتوكلي على الله وتوكلي ان انت one thing is تتوكلي انك you're doing the work you're trusting in God, and the other thing is انك بتوكلي اللي هو انت you do it بقى يلا انا مستنيه. The fine line is doing the work. Doing the work is messed up. It's confusing. There's no.
But sometimes you don't have to. Huh? Like sometimes you don't even want to do the work, and that's
the work also.
طبعا. It is.
Just sitting. By the way, the hardest thing to do is sitting in your pain. It's very easy to go to a therapist and do this and try and distract yourself. Yeah, that can be a sort of work.
That's
but
very true.
A big part of the work is just sitting in your pain.
Yeah, and just dealing with it.
And just be I'm sitting in my pain. ده أنا خدت مشاهد في ال4 أيام اللي فاتوا دول. اسأليني على أي شو على شاهد ولا واتشت هقولك عنه فاهمة. That's just what I needed.
Yeah.
And what I still need. أنا هخلص بودكاست النهاردة وهاخد دش مية وملح كده وأصلي مش عايز حد يلمسني. مش قادرة حاسة ان انا مكحوتة. But
do what you need to do.
But here's the thing بقى that you don't feel until you're actually grieving. بتحسي بربنا قوي. بتحسي بحاجة أقوى منك بتساعدك. لأن ساعات بتحسي انتي مش هتقدري تكملي ساعة كمان وفجأة تلاقي من لا شيء في سكينة كده وحد بيقومك كده وبتعملي وفجأة ترجعي تتهبتي تاني. وبعدين حاجة يعني سبحان الله ما اعرفش سبحان الله هذه احنا طبيعي لو الموت سنة الحياة فإن احنا نتخطى المشاعر اللي بتيجي مع الموت وإن انتي تخسري حد فدي أكيد من تكويننا.
هقولك when okay
yes guru yes guru
بصي نسيت اصلا
ده ممكن مش مكتوبه تتقال.
لا ما هو من الاخر كده it's what I wanted to say was عشان I was trying to find a way to say
it. God pushes you through.
انتي when you go through somebody when somebody so close to you dies it's a very big wake up call. It's a huge slap from this world. فانتي غصب عنك whether you like it or not you're gonna have to face it. But you face everything else that you're talking about. So God is like I'm here now. You were disregarding me. You were disregarding me.
You were living life like it was all yours forever.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna show you something that's completely out of your control. Here you go. هتعملي ايه؟ انت بقى it depends on the person. عايزة تخشي المخدرات عايزة you wanna do other things عايزة تخشي بطريقة وحشة whatever the hell it is. And then you have the other side. Very simple. Basically God's telling you get closer to me. This is reality. I'm here. Are you gonna get close to me ولا
وعلى فكرة حتى يعني
ولما بقى بتقربي لربنا this is the thing you're talking about. بتحسي بالراحة وبتحسي اللي هو الحمد لله فاهمة اوكي.
وعلى فكرة ناتالي لا بتتكلم على الشيوخ والدين وبتاع يعني
انا اصلا مسيحية.
انت اصلا مسيحية. بس كلهم بيساعدوا بعض والله.
It's all the same.
It's all the same.
Religions
we always talk about
the
this.
same.
We always talk about
religion
this.
It's at the end of the day it's a connection with God and God is basically the main thing.
Yeah.
But when I speak of the thing I'm talking about of مثلا the sheikh or whatever, these are things that I saw. But of course I've يعني when you get into spirituality, and by the way spirituality doesn't necessarily have to be a good thing because even demons and jinn يعني is a spirit. But when you get into enlightenment, I'd like to say يعني it's all religions. It's all religions combined to whether it's Buddhism, whether it's Islam, whether it's Christianity, whether it's Judaism, whatever the case is, it's all a manual to teach you على
the higher power.
The connection ما بين البني آدمين وربنا and how ربنا is basically everything.
And you know what I love? I keep repeating this to myself. بتهيألي Eckhart Tolle is the one who said it. أو Deepak Chopra حد من العظماء دول. And we are
great people.
We are spiritual beings having a human experience. فكل ما الدنيا كده تاخدني قلمين على وشي بقول عادي ما احنا we're spiritual beings having a human experience. فالموضوع ده مش هدي اكتر من حده.
And you want to know something that actually helped out a lot. It was one of them برضه that said something like this where they said it was like very mind-boggling for me. But he said something along the lines of you are experiencing these things but it's not okay.
But it's not you.
It's not you. That's the thing. You know what I mean?
You're observing yourself experiencing
let's say you're going through grief. So when you're grieving, it's not you that's grieving. It is the experience of grief happening in your life and you are experiencing, but you are not grief.
Yeah.
You are not sad. You are experiencing sadness. So initially, it is a part of your
experience.
Existence.
It's not a label or a characteristic that is a part of you.
بالضبط. But it's not you.
It's this experience.
It's an experience.
Yeah.
when you realize that, you realize, okay, this is not me. Who I am is Natalie. Who are you is you're Lamon. But I am not sad, I am experiencing sadness. And you kind of detach from it and you understand, okay, this is an emotion and this is me and I'm feeling that. But I'm not it. So that makes you see that it will come and it will pass.
And maybe this is why it's really annoying to see people after you've gone through something like this, because you feel like through their eyes they're just it's become a part of your identity. The girl who lost her love, the girl who lost her dad, the girl who lost her mom.
It's not. It is,
and that's annoying. That's actually because you're like, feel heavier.
Hey, I'm here. I'm Natalie. By the way, I'm good. Like, talk to me as if I'm normal. Why are you talking to me as if I am this? Because you're not. And this is.
I can never live beyond this.
You will.
You will.
الدنيا بتيجي وبتروح وعادي صح
واحنا
ولا
مع بعض فيها، دي أهم حاجة.
دي أهم حاجة. والله يعني صدقيني I think يعني I'd like to believe that the most person that was able to help me out was myself يعني.
I'd like to thank me for standing up to me, for helping me, for waking up all those times.
Yeah, of course, I'm very supportive for everyone that was around. I'm very supportive for everybody. But really, it's a matter of really you picking yourself up and going, yani, and getting up. You know, no one told me.
And thank yourself.
بالظبط. It is. It's gratitude to be thankful.
I just want to go to bed now.
You have a right to.
Now I just want to go to bed.
You have a right to, and I believe that this conversation you really needed, man. Like honestly, it is what it is, and it's a part of life. It's. The train keeps going. It's never gonna stop. It's not gonna stop for you. It's not gonna stop for anybody. But there's one thing, just know, and she is always there.
Oh
she's
yeah, no, I know that.
Watching over you.
I know that.
She's, يعني they're always there, and. I know you feel.
حاجة تانية أصلا يعني بقى نختم الحلقة بقى كده بس هي I think كمان grief opens up إن أنت like it opens up a lot of portals. لا أنا أحلامي بقت
بس لازم تبي تخلي بالك ها يعني عشان here's the thing when you open other portals لا ركزي
هيجوا إيه يهزروا معايا
ما هقول لك حاجة أنت بقى when these portals are open you're not grounded. Your roots are not on the ground. Fancy, but when you're reaching high up, it's an enlightenment. You're feeling spiritual. You feel connected to God. You're feeling connected to these spirits, whether it's loved ones. So you're getting high up, and you forget the roots.
Yeah.
So one wind, something that happens here, you're falling.
This is what's happening now. I feel like I've really, I was really scared to distract myself again, and I was trying to make sure I'm grieving and feeling. And then that led to إن أنا go with the experience. وبعدين going with the experience خلاني بقى إيه في الشعوذة خالص.
أوكي.
وبعدين النهاردة بقولك عندي 4 or 5 symptoms of a nervous breakdown. عداهم وشايفة عارفة لما زي ما تقولي مثلا أنا I'm about to have a heart attack. أنا بجد أنا عارفة إن أنا at some point today هيحصل nervous breakdown لأن أنا أعصابي حتى في وشي في إيدي النهاردة and this happens I can feel it and I think it's because I've gone to this space in my mind where there's no beginning or end, right or wrong, left or right. I'm in this dimension that's like interstellar and I'm dizzy. I'm not grounded.
This is what it is, and this was a fault.
My curiosity has taken me to this realm that maybe I need to.
I did the same problem. أنا أول ما الموضوع ده حصل دخلت في spirituality بزيادة ودخلت اللي هو I want to speak to him. I want to try to talk to him. I want to try to communicate with him. I want to try all these things.
Oh my God, yeah.
So you go into which is possible, but in order for you to go there, you need to be here. You need to stay grounded so you can come back. عشان انتي لو ما رجعتيش دي كارثه سايكوسس بقى فاهمه خدي
ده موضوع ليوم تاني ان ده موضوع حساس
you need to ground يعني and this was a problem that I did too. I needed to learn to ground myself first before I get into the spiritual side. For grounding, by the way, doesn't necessarily mean يعني just prayer. It could be mindfulness, like mindful meditation, just the idea of staying intact with your 5 senses.
Yeah,
I'm here, I can touch this couch, I can see you. What am I hearing right now? There's a car passing. What am I smelling? What am I tasting in my mouth when I speak to you? These things are very important. So you can stay present. And then بقى from there بقى roots everywhere. Root yourself and then بقى start to fly as much as you can. Because يعني you want to be a big large tree that can reach to the highest of the highest and God ومش عارفة ايه.
لا والله it's okay. لا عادي. I don't.
You have to.
بصي بس واحدة كده.
Manti, why do you think when people get older they start getting closer to God? Because they need to ground themselves because they know they're getting high up there, so they don't want to, you know.
لا وبعدين بتمري بظروف الحياة بتلاحظي إنه
You don't have a choice but that, huh? Yeah.
نختم الحلقة عشان احنا ممكن نقعد كده بقى لحد
5 years. We can speak here forever. Yeah.
Reach out to us.
We are the
it's okay.
the
It's gonna be
gurus
okay.
of grief.
It's gonna be okay.
It is. It's a part of life. It is what it is, and just
you're not alone.